Good morning and welcome to this Thursday, September the 3rd version of From Sunrise to Sunset with Pastor Gene. Sometime later today, we're hoping to make an announcement from the task force about our plans for reopening. So I do hope you'll stay tuned to that and help us get the word out, and then help us with whatever steps are necessary in this next phase of planning. So thank you for your prayers to this point, and thank you for your prayers and your service as we move forward in this time together. I want to pick back up today with beginning verse 33 of Matthew 12. We're spending a lot of time in Matthew 12 because there's a lot of things here we need to talk about. The verses 33 through 37 talks about the fruit that comes forth from a tree. Evil or good fruit that comes forth from a tree, and uses the illustration about how words that come out of our mouth are expressions of what the treasure of our hearts are. And Jesus has already made that connection. He says that on the day of judgment, we're going to have to give an account for every word, every careless word that we utter. And that by our words we'll be justified, and by our words we will be condemned. My mother always told me, if you can't say something good, don't say anything at all, because you're going to have to answer for it. She also said, be careful what you say, because once a word comes out, it's out. It's kind of like toothpaste out of a toothpaste tube. It doesn't go back in. It's out there. And then that causes all kinds of situations wherein there's either hurt that's caused, or need for forgiveness, or harm that's caused, and need for repentance, all kinds of things. So be careful what you say and how you say it. I believe you'll hear a sermon about that this coming Sunday. Then he talks about the sign of Jonah, which of course is another connection to the Old Testament, where Jonah was in the belly of the whale for 3 days and 3 nights. And of course, Jesus himself is going to go into the heart of the earth after he dies on the cross for 3 days. And that connection is made there. And of course, another reference about how something greater than Solomon is here. Another connection to the Old Testament. And again, in the way I see it, as I've said in previous videos, this just shows the brilliance and the wisdom of Jesus. Not just the inspiring messages, but the wisdom and the brilliance. The next section talks a little bit about, this is verses 43 to 45, talks about what happens when a spirit goes out. If it goes out, it's going to search all over for another place to land. If an evil spirit goes out, it's going to search for another place to land. But it's going to come back on you harder the next time. Each time we let go of something evil, the next time it's going to come back on us harder. We need to be utilizing our strength, exercising, if you will, spiritually, to be prepared for the trials and temptations that are to come. And then he closes Matthew 12 while he's speaking to the crowds, and he says, he's talking about who is my mother and who are my brothers. And he points to his disciples, and he said, here are my mother and brothers. For whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sister and mother. The family of God happens to be the people who obey Jesus. We're part of that family. Jesus has made it so. And he invites each and every one of us to be a part of that family. He's broken down every barrier that needs to be broken down, and he's built up every kind of support that you can imagine. And he's done that every single day of our lives. So as we close chapter 12, I want you to think about, how are we living into the fulfillment of Sabbath law? How are we doing good, doing no harm? And how are we staying in love with God as his family from sunrise to sunset?